Friendly hello, hi everyone, my name is Monday, and welcome to Let's Talk About Self-Harm. Now, I've done another video of this kind of stuff before. I think I did Let's Talk About Kinks. So this one is going to be branching a little deeper into some more serious stuff, so if you have any triggers, or if you feel like you might not be able to sit through this video, turn it off now. Just letting you know now, because I will be talking about different forms of self-harm, what they mean, how you can get help, alternatives, and just generally, there's going to be some bad stuff in here. So if you can't handle that, just turn off the video now, please. Don't watch this if it's going to fuck with your head. Seriously. In order to actually understand self-harm, you have to know what self-harm is. Self-harm, by definition, is the intentional direct injury of body tissue done without suicidal intentions. Now, self-harm is used for a lot of different things, and generally none of them are good. So, a couple examples of things that self-harm is used for is to distract yourself from actual reality. If you want to take a break from it, you want to get away, pain is often the easiest way to do that. You hit something, you go drink a beer, it numbs it, it takes it away. Another reason self-harm is used is to actually attempt to self-medicate a number of mental illnesses, such as depression, anxiety, traumatic stress disorder, schizophrenia, multiple personalities, there's a ton of things that self-harm is used to try and basically help people deal with it, but never a good thing. Now, personally, I know what it's like to self-harm. I have way more mental disabilities than I care to admit on the internet, and it gets really tough to deal with being in your own brain sometimes, especially if you have those things that don't let you let go, in a sense, of different memories, different feelings. They don't let you move past stuff. If you have panic attacks, it can be hard to feel like you're actually in control of your body, and self-harm, be it cutting, burning, punching a wall, drinking a beer, taking medication, or even smoking a cigarette, it can be used as a form of trying to make yourself feel like you are in control. I can make this cut on my arm and watch the blood, and I know what's happening. For me, it has been pills in the past. I used to take acetaminophen to try and be able to control what was happening with my body because I couldn't control what was happening with my brain. So I used to burn. I've never been a real big cutter. Like, I can bite the inside of my lips. I'm okay with blood, but I can't stand the feeling of cutting. I don't know if it's just me being super obsessive, and the same idea as not liking writing on a chalkboard. I don't like touching that frosted glass stuff. It feels weird to have the blade dragging against my skin, but I don't know if you guys can see, I have marks all across my arms of where I have burned myself with lighters, with a spoon heated over a lighter, with erasers quite often. I have marks on my legs. I actually have the word idiot burned into my thigh, and it is going to be there forever. And that, if nothing else, is one reason why you shouldn't self-harm. These marks are never going away. Not in the future, not any time. Unless I want to go and get them tattooed, unless I somehow manage to melt my skin off and have it grow back, I am going to be stuck with the reminders every single day when I look at myself of what I have done, and that is not something that is fun. Self-harm in itself is a habit. It's like smoking. It's like drinking. It's the cutting, the burning, punching walls, punching other people. It is addictive because even in the future, if you no longer feel like garbage, if you don't feel upset anymore, it can still be something that you do. I get stressed about a test, I'm going to go burn because that's the only way I know how to deal with pain and frustration. And that's a huge problem because with every form of self-harm, there will be a day where you take it too far. You will cut a little too deep, you will burn a little too far, you'll get infected, you'll drink too much, you'll take one too many pill, and you can't come back. If you die, you are not coming back. Especially if you die from cutting or pills, you're done. And that is not a point that anyone should have to reach, regardless of if it's other people bullying you or if it's your own head trying to rip out. There's better ways to deal with it, and I am going to list those better ways now because I'm starting to freak out myself. A couple of really good ways to deal with self-harm is drawing, writing, and finding another outlet. Now these things, fairly simple in concept, difficult in practice. Here's the way that I actually use some of them. Maybe it'll help you guys as well. For the first one, for drawing and for writing, I carry this. It is a giant king-size Sharpie. It's beautiful. It smells kind of good, although I know you're not supposed to smell Sharpies, but it's just a giant Sharpie. And what I do is if I feel like cutting or burning, or if anyone out there feels like cutting or burning, go get a big ass Sharpie. Carry it with you. Put it in your pocket. Make sure you have one with little tabs. You can stick it on your shirt or on your belt if you don't have pockets. And every time you get upset, just draw something on your arms. It can be flowers, it can be smiley faces, it can be hearts. You can draw anything that you want, but instead of cutting, draw. If you still feel like cutting, just sit there. Draw tally lines on your wrist. Just keep going with the Sharpie, and eventually it will help you feel better. It really does. Whether the smell of the Sharpie kind of kicks you out of your strange psychosis, or once your arms are covered in marker, it'll help. If you feel depressed and you need to do something, draw. Even if you're not good, just sit there and draw tally marks on your arms, because in the end, the Sharpie will wash off, a cut will not. Now, the third way that I mentioned, because that was kind of both ways, 1 and 2, the third way is to find a distraction. Now, distractions are the easiest thing in the world to come by, but it can be really hard to think of a distraction when you're in that mindset that I have to cut, I have to burn, I need to take my pills, I need to do whatever it is that I use as an outlet. So the best thing to do is have 6 or 7 objects around you at all times that you can use as an outlet. Have your phone to text people or play a game. You can have a piece of paper that you can write on. You have your Sharpie. The best way to actually get back in control of your surroundings is to do something that's called grounding. And grounding is a very specific technique that I've actually learned from a couple of psychiatrists, as well as a few of my friends who have different problems with their brain, and they've brought this to my attention, and I think that it works really, really well if you can keep it in mind. Now, the main idea of it is to get your 5 senses. You have taste, touch, smell, sight, and hearing. I had to think for a second there. But you have all of your 5 senses, and what you do is you can use any sense you want in whatever order, but you can't use the senses more than once. For instance, if you use hearing once, you can't use hearing again for the next 4. You have to move on to smell or taste or touch or sight. But what you do is you pick one of your senses, and then you find 5 things around you that have to do with that particular sense. It can be anything you want, but do not pick the same object more than once. Then you move on to the next sense, and you find 4 things of that sense that you can see and touch or taste in the world around you. Now, the final thing that I want to address in this video is medication. And I know there's a giant stigma around medication. There always is, there always has been. But medication can help people. It doesn't matter if you don't want to be drugged, if your brain feels like it's going to go fuzzy and float away from you, because believe me, if no one else in your life does, I understand. I had to take antidepressants for a while. I'm going to be going back and getting medicated again because I need it. But it helps. And even if you feel like you feel fuzzy or disconnected from yourself, it is still better than whatever it is you're going through. If you have depression and you feel a little funny on your antidepressants, then tell your doctor, get a new change of meds, but please don't just stop taking them, because they can help you. Medications have been proven to help. You know what medications that don't help are called? Alternative medicine. Burn! So anyway, this has been the talk about self-harm. We've covered different types of self-harm, what self-harm is, and different ways that you can cope with it. And like anything else, once again, self-harm is an addiction. You need to find someone to help you, whether it's your parents, your siblings, a friend at school, or even a counselor. You need to have someone help you try to work through whatever it is that you use as an outlet. If you drink, go to AA. If you have problems with pills, they have groups for that. If you cut or burn, tell your family, tell the people around you, have them take your outlets away. Take away your knives and razor blades, because as much as it sucks, and you might want to say, I'm not a kid anymore, I don't need you to take my stuff away from me, I can handle myself. If you are getting to that point, you obviously cannot, and you need help. I had to have people take away knives from me. which I'm just gradually starting to get back again. And this, don't worry, I wasn't just holding this here for shits and giggles. It's because I'm home alone. I'm paranoid as hell. But you need to learn how to deal with your own brain before you can start handling the objects again. So if you have a drinking problem, stop drinking. If you have a burning problem, take away whatever it is that you used to burn. Give it to someone else. Throw it away. Don't get it back. And then try to find something else to do. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to click the like button down below and subscribe to let me know. And I will see you, lovely, beautiful, wonderful, amazing marshmallows, in the next one.